In the past 30 years, the number of marriages has fallen by 30%, but Naoko has nevertheless decided to tie the knot.
With the package that you have chosen, you could design a custom bouquet. You can select the flowers you want.
At just 29 years old, Naoko is thrilled at the idea of living a fairy tale. She has opted for a Western-style ceremony for her dream wedding.
I've loved planning it all. Tomorrow is a big day.
To make sure everything is perfect, Naoko is assisted by professional wedding planner Yukiko.
You're so cute. That looks amazing on you.
This is an empire-style dress. It's like something from Napoleon's time.
But although this may look like preparation for an ordinary wedding, in reality it is not quite so, as the young woman has no fiancé.
Yes, I completely forgot to look for a boyfriend.
In fact, Naoko is going to get married on her own. In Japan, they call this a solo wedding. It was Yukiko who invented solo weddings just over a year ago, and since then she has had hundreds of clients.
At the beginning, I had a 34-year-old employee who had no plans to get married, and yet who had wanted nothing more than to wear a wedding dress since she was a little girl. She was quite upset at the idea that that was never going to happen. And one day, she confided in me that she would really like to have the opportunity to dress like a bride, and she asked me to organize that for her.
Naoko also wanted to live out her dream wedding experience, all while remaining single.
Marriage is a life choice among others. I don't know yet if I want to get married or not, or if I want to live with someone or not.
For the tidy sum of €2,400, the solo wedding service lasts 24 hours. It includes a wedding dress fitting, a visit to a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a florist, and ends with a photo shoot.
Look at the camera, please.
The goal is obviously to capture this unique moment.
I'm not sad at all to not have a groom.
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm having an amazing time.
The agency was created a year ago and has already organized over 100 solo weddings. Each time, Yukiko offers the young women an actor to play the role of the groom, but all of them refuse the presence of a man. In Japan, love is under threat. There are less and less couples and the birth rate is low. The country is losing its population at a rate of around 200,000 people a year. According to experts, 30% of the country's population could disappear by 2060.
I think that today men are financially very stressed. With the financial crisis, they no longer have the courage to start a family.
In addition to economic worries in the land of Tamagotchis, the virtual pet, real feelings and carnal pleasures no longer have their place. A quarter of Japanese 30 to 40-year-olds are virgins. How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Have you ever had sex?
No.
Inoue is a geek. He and his friends have abandoned sex. They prefer manga heroines to girls of their own age.
Ah, that's brilliant.
In the land of the rising sun, 50% of Japanese people admit to not having regular sex. Do you prefer sex without love or love without sex?
Love without sex.
Me too.
Oh yes, me too.
Paradoxically, Japan is also the world's biggest producer of pornographic films. 30,000 pornos are shot each year. But here also, the sex crisis has had its consequences. There's a lack of actors. Porn star Shimiken sounds the alarm.
There are only 2,000 Bengal tigers left in the world, and we are like them, an endangered species.
Men and women are gradually growing more and more distant and no longer know how to go about seducing each other. How long have you been single for?
5 long years.
To vanquish their inhibitions, there are courses preparing singletons to say this simple, I love you. Kamazawa is going to try his luck.
If we laugh and have fun, girls will come to us, right, guys?
Julien is French. He plays matchmaker at fancy dress parties. His credo, Franco-Japanese couples, and the results are there.
Thank you for coming, Julia.
With a subdued or even solo sexuality and a birth rate under threat, we investigate the disturbing precursor that is Japan, a potential warning of the world of tomorrow. In Tokyo, with a population of over 13 million, you would think it was easy to find a soulmate. However, among the city's young people, the love crisis is such that it has given rise to some startling new businesses. Take rental boyfriends, for example. Taro started up his company 3 years ago, and his turnover is increasing month by month.
When you're a woman who is very busy with work, when you don't have the time to meet someone, or when you haven't had a relationship with a man, well, thanks to our service, you can experience the pleasure of being with someone.
In actual fact, sex is strictly prohibited. The rental boyfriend simply helps the woman to have a good time and to overcome her shyness around men.
You can choose the rental boyfriend who fits your taste by looking at his profile. You can see what he looks like and also discover his personality.
And the star of the show is Riku. This is Shinjuku, one of Tokyo's lively areas, and it is here that Riku waits for the client who has booked him for this afternoon. Yui reserved him online. It is not the first time that they have seen each other, but she is still very nervous.
So today, shall we go to Shinjuku Park and we can see the cherry blossom together? You seem a bit tense. It's been a little while since we last saw each other. Wait, I'll move to the other side.
Riku's first mission, to play the perfect boyfriend, even holding her hand, an action that is rather daring in Japan. But Yui wants to get used to contact with men. She is paid 120 euros for 2 hours of practice. After taking a selfie, as young lovers would do, they share an ice cream. And as the professional that he is, Riku feigns maximum complicity.
Let me taste a little. It's 100 times better when you've licked it before. It's thanks to you that we have sun today.
No, I often bring rain.
Yui wants to know what it feels like to have a boyfriend, because at 24 years old, she has never had one.
I go out with Riku once a month.
Yes, that's right.
And today is the third time, because I don't usually go out with boys. I hope to always have a nice time with him.
As well as his role as actor, Riku also coaches his clients in seduction.
Basically, when we go out together, it's true that we hold hands, but it's very important that we also talk a lot.
I especially consult him about love.
Yes, particularly.
I'm not really used to men, so I ask him how I should behave, what attitude I should have if I meet someone.
The young couple leave the park and head for some light entertainment, invented in Japan and very popular throughout Asia, karaoke. And it is only finally with this last activity that Yui relaxes a little.
When we're together, I'm really happy, and I hope to meet someone like Riku. But it's difficult to find.
But you were telling me the other day about someone that you met at work. You couldn't talk to him.
Yes, that's true.
And so, what happened after?
It was the other day, and there was the whole office team.
And?
We all went out together, and he was there. Coincidentally, he was right next to me, and I managed to talk to him a little bit.
And that's great. And that means you've made great progress. Well done. I'm proud of you.
It's the end of the session for Riku. Mission accomplished. Yui leaves happy and relaxed. She is ready to consider what appeared to her inconceivable just a few weeks earlier. To dare to talk to a boy that she doesn't know. Unless by then she falls in love with her therapist. In Tokyo, there are armies of young men up for rent. There are those who, like Riku, play the role of public boyfriend, and those who work in bars to make conversation with lonely women. The establishments even use them as their selling point. But is it a problem of time, modesty, or fear? According to a recent study, more than half of non-married Japanese people do not have friends of the opposite sex. Inui is 24 years old. Like Yui, he has never had a relationship, and for him, women are a mystery. He is therefore going to try out this new kind of establishment.
Welcome. I'll see you through.
Tinkerbell is what is called a cuddle cafe, a lounge where you can pay to spend a few minutes in the arms of a young woman.
Please take off your shoes.
Dozens of small alcoves welcome the clients who are prepared to spend large sums of money for a short moment of comfort. Here you pay 60 euros an hour just to lie down next to a hostess, and the bill can quickly add up. You have to pay 8 more euros for her to hold you in her arms for 3 minutes, or 16 euros for her to simply rest her head on your lap.
Hello, nice to meet you.
This is Fuki. She will be taking care of Inui. Here, minutes mean money, so her timer is never far away.
From now we have 60 minutes. Take a look at our services.
I'm spoiled for choice.
Head on lap is 1,000 yen for 3 minutes.
Okay. But I'm not sure I will be able to.
Of course you can. Don't be hard on yourself. Everyone can do it.
The young woman eventually conquers Inui's shyness, as he then opts for a triple package.
What would you like to start with? Head in arms, head in lap, or the massage?
Maybe with the massage.
Of course, turn this way.
There is no physical contact. The massage is done over clothes. Nevertheless, Inui seems spellbound. But when it is time for him to put his head in Fuki's lap,
Place your head here.
the young man's uneasiness returns.
Where should I put my head?
Wherever you want. Anything is fine.
Reassured by the young woman, Inui finally lets himself slip into conversation.
When I was in high school, I started to like Hachan, the singer.
But why are girls fans of female singers? What do you actually like? Is it watching a cute girl or the atmosphere of the concert?
I like it all. They're all really entertaining, more entertaining than a boy band.
After 1 hour of cuddles, Inui seems to have developed a taste for female contact.
How do I feel? In fact, it was very nice. Until now, I had never thought to do something like this. But contrary to what I imagined, real girls are not so bad. I really liked it, more than I would have thought.
The Cuddle Cafe not only welcomes virgins like Inui, Fuki also looks after many Japanese men who have no one to talk to.
The people who come here are people who have problems and who can't talk about them with their colleagues, their superiors, not even their friends. Or it's one of those who want to meet a girl dressed up as a heroine character like me.
However, it's not a question of satisfying their fantasies. The establishment is not a brothel.
Before entering a room, the customer is informed of the rules. So incidents are very rare.
It's the end of the session. Inoue is finally allowed his long-awaited cuddle, a few seconds of embrace.
You'd prefer to stay seated for the hug, no? So, come on then.
Now you're so amateur. America's elementary school student is
I'm
better
very happy
than
to have met you.
in sex
Me
knowledge.
too, I had a great time. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I'm not talking about the
Thank
reality.
you. See you soon,
American elementary school, why no more knowledge like that.
If, at 24 years old, Inoue does not have a girlfriend, it's because he is a geek who prefers heroines from video games to real-life women.
With real girls, I don't know what they're thinking. They could lie while smiling sweetly. And with their friends, behind my back, they could criticize me. Whereas girls in video games would never betray me.
Your name yourself is
Because it's men who create the games. They've invented their ideal women.
It is very easy to be female.
When he is not working in a call center, he lives in a 15-square-meter apartment where he spends hours in front of a screen, and this lifestyle suits him very well.
I don't really feel the urge to be in love.
So to begin order to
Or to get married.
don't use violence on
I
them.
can't even imagine it.
This is not accepted
I prefer being alone
by Western culture. Can use violence
and spending my time playing video games
Yes, obviously.
or reading manga.
Violence.
So I don't really look to the future.
This afternoon, Inoue meets up with his friends. They also have never had girlfriends.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Their favorite neighborhood is Akihabara, a place of worship for Japan's many manga fans, video game enthusiasts and geeks. Everything on offer here seems straight out of another world. There are bars that offer trips back in time.
Here.
What is it?
A cafe with waitresses from the early 20th century Taisho era.
Thank you.
But even more surprising,
We are one of the first loungers to set up here 9 years ago. We offer ear cleaning services.
Oh, really? You clean our ears?
Come in, come in. You will be well received.
the only girls they regularly spend time with are the characters in the game centers. Here you can play across 6 floors, from 10 o'clock in the morning to midnight, 7 days a week. The 3 boys are in love with these women with supernatural powers like Samus Aran, an intergalactic bounty hunter, or Linoa Hartley, the mixed beauty from the game Final Fantasy.
These girls come from the imagination. There are no girls like that in real life, because no one can have supernatural powers like that.
If you're looking for a girl with magic powers, you're not going to find her in reality.
But I want a girl with supernatural powers.
One of Inoue's favourite shops is this one here, a realm of fantasy for geeks. They sell pornographic magazines, but as the women of their dreams do not exist, they are drawn and portrayed in these very erotic manga. The young geeks don't know where to start.
Breasts to infinity.
What does infinity mean?
Unlimited breasts.
That I see, but okay.
It's insane, really crazy. It's great, amazing.
In this district, everything has been thought of for young people to indulge their virtual erotic desires. In the building just next door, 7 floors dedicated to sex and to solo pleasure. Here is the most popular product for men, the Tenga, a pre-lubricated masturbation tube. This sex toy has been incredibly successful. Since 2007, more than 2 million models have been sold in Japan at €5 apiece. It is hard to imagine that the demographic future of this country lies partly in the hands of this generation who turn their back on reality. One reason why young people are engrossed in video games rather than taking an interest in human relationships could be because the traditional family model is no longer something to aspire to. Miyoko, her husband and her children are a middle-class family living in this small 3-bed in the Tokyo suburbs.
I'm here, children. I got you something, some sweets.
Miyoko is 45 years old. She became a mother later in life because she valued her career. And in Japanese culture, it is the woman who must give up work to look after the children. 70% of Japanese mothers leave their jobs after their first pregnancy. Miyoko was an interpreter and long hesitated to give it all up.
It's difficult. I didn't really want to get married yet. But then I wanted children.
Today, few women are willing to sacrifice their careers. Traditionally, men bring in the family income. In the 90s, the country experienced an economic crisis and saw the end of job security. According to Yasunori, Miyoko's husband, who is a civil servant, this economic upheaval has had a serious impact on the psychology of young people.
I think that young men are financially very worried. With the crisis, Japanese society is changing, and that is not encouraging them to start families. Also, times have changed. Today, not everyone has to get married.
Another factor that suppresses desires to start a family. The concept of the child king in Japan, which is the death of a couple's intimacy.
Everything is organized to focus on the children. Parents come after.
Becoming a family is not very exciting. Of course, we love each other. But we've become a dad and a mum. With children, not a couple. There are lots of couples who don't have sex. Maybe once or twice a year. Maybe none at all. Okay, whose is whose?
In fact, the rare moments that husband and wife do spend together are spent looking after the children.
Brush your teeth.
At bedtime, Miyoko sleeps with one of her daughters. Is it like this every night, Miyoko?
Yes, she likes sleeping here. Children are kings, princesses. There you go.
Yasunori finishes his beer alone. Then he goes to bed, but not in his bedroom. He spends his nights in a bunk bed.
How come Japanese don't sleep in tatami instead of they sleep in bed?
In Japan, the rejection of sex is taken seriously by specialists. In order to halt the falling birth rate and inspire young people to have sex, some think they may have found the solution. Olivia is a sex counselor for couples in Japan.
Okay, let's go.
With an architect friend, she has created an apartment to boost libido amongst couples.
So here is the bedroom with futons.
Oh, yes, I can see the lamp.
Yes, I left that there.
At first sight, it seems like a classic home, but the originality is found in the living room.
Here's the lid. With this, you can't see what it is. And this here, you remove like this.
The architect has used the small size of Japanese homes to its full potential, creating a surprise.
What are you doing?
I'm just removing the lid. And once it's removed, we discover a bathtub.
So when the boyfriend comes home with this, you can create a relaxing environment, and the relationship will surely become more intimate.
As well as the bathtub in the living room, Olivia and her architect are convinced they have thought of it all to create positive energy in this apartment.
Here it's in direct sunlight. It's well exposed. If a woman lived here, she would automatically become more feminine, and she would release more hormones. In the end, she would exude charm.
Japanese is not like that. They use sunlight technology.
If that wasn't enough, the specialists have another very effective tool under their belt. A pole dancing bar in the middle of the room. Using it will provoke unexpected impulses.
When you work on your muscles inside, you have more stamina. You get tired less quickly.
And also exercise.
You are more energetic at night, and your sex life is a lot richer.
I know.
This apartment, and several others like it, are currently on sale. Olivia also has an office in the city. She advises women who have never had or no longer have sex. Naoko has known her for 3 years.
Take a seat in the armchair.
In order to broach taboo questions, Olivia has a whole ritual in place.
I'll take your things.
She has learned, in a way, how to gain the trust of these very reserved women.
Japanese women find it hard to talk about their sexuality. They are still far too modest, even when they come here to talk. So I start with a massage using scented oils, and afterwards I address the real subject.
For Naoko, these sessions seem to have worked wonders.
I try to take your advice, and I recently found a boyfriend.
Ah, really? That's great.
With all of my ex-boyfriends, I couldn't broach the subject of sex. But with the one I've just met, from the start it was different. We talked about it.
Yes, you seem much more comfortable with what you've learned. For a woman to talk about sex like you do, so spontaneously and without embarrassment, it's very rare. You've made great progress, Naoko.
For Olivia, talking about sex is essential to a fruitful relationship. Yet even though things are going well for Naoko, the specialist continues to give her pieces of advice to keep her relationship interesting.
You know that when a woman masturbates a lot, her sexuality becomes richer. But with men, it's different. There are so many temptations and opportunities to masturbate that they end up neglecting their partner. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Female is very attractive.
A little later on in the day, we meet up with Olivia.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Shall we go? Okay, let's go.
Regularly, the sex counselor divulges her own issues to her friend and confidant Keiko. For although she is a relationship specialist, Olivia is not married.
I've just turned 35, and it's true that for some time now people have been asking me why I'm not married and why I don't have children. And I also put pressure on myself because I would like to have a child. I really would. But I don't know where to start.
First, they say you should marry. And yes, marriage should come first.
I have so much maternal love. I'm so ready to be a mum that I got a cat.
Olivia asks advice without admitting to her friend whether or not she has any suitors. It is out of the question for her to be a single mother.
The declining birth rate in Japan can be explained by a decline in marriages, as here only 2% of children are born outside of marriage.
Only 2% of children are born outside of marriage, compared with 58% in France. Before, marriages in Japan were arranged, but today it is rare. It is up to them to manage for themselves. This social pressure of marriage seems to be one of the forces contributing to the falling birth rate. After an hour of conversation, Olivia is not very reassured about her case.
You know, what worries me is not really the future of Japan, but my own future.
Like Olivia, there is a whole chunk of the population who are resisting celibacy. These are generally men and women between 25 and 35 years old who are tired of loneliness and solo pleasure. They are desperate to find love and to get married, but they don't know how to. This is the case for Kamasawa, a specialized mechanic in his 30s. He lives alone in this small apartment and he has decided to turn his back on virtual love.
I prefer real women to those in porn videos. In adult films, you already know the end of the story, so I don't find it very entertaining. Whereas with a real woman that I don't know, it's more exciting, it's more entertaining. Anything could happen.
These men and women who will do anything to find their soulmate are called the konkatsu. It has become a state of mind, and of course a whole market has been created in response. This weekend, Kamazawa is going to a konkatsu camp, an outing for singletons in search of love. There he hopes to meet his feminine ideal.
A girl who is happy, always positive, and cute.
It is 10:30 in the morning in the northeast of Tokyo, where Kamazawa meets all the participants and the organizers of this peculiar summer camp.
So today it's 14,500 yen. You don't have a lot of luggage.
Yes, this is all I have.
Ah, that's good.
In total, there are 15 boys and 12 girls who will pay 120 euros to spend 48 hours together, day and night, in the middle of the countryside, 2 hours' drive from Tokyo.
They are all around their 30s. They all work, but in very different worlds. You're all here, okay? We're going to get on the bus. Follow me. Thank you.
At first, everyone keeps to themselves. The shy singletons have not yet exchanged a single word between them, but the organizers are used to it.
I asked that the ladies get on the bus first.
It is against the rules for the women to sit next to each other.
Come on.
It is now the turn of the boys to climb onto the bus. The greetings are rather restrained and there's no flirting. For health concerns, some have kept on their masks. To break the ice, the organizer asked them to introduce themselves over the microphone.
So, now you are each going to take turns introducing yourselves. Say your name, where you come from, and what you like. You can also add something like, for example, I'm scared of the dark, you need to accompany me if I want to go to the toilet, or I grind my teeth in my sleep, so please close my mouth. Okay, your turn.
My name is Aikiko. I come from Saitama. I love children and animals.
Nice to meet you, Akiko.
My name is Kamasama. I come from Kanagawa. I like surfing, bodyboarding, and cards.
这个男的旁边那个女的差不多。
I like having fun, and I hope that we'll all have a good time together.
然后女的是差不多26岁左右。这是
My
年
hobbies
轻
are
的女的，
trampolining and playing the
然后
drums.
长得稍微脸太大了一些。
They're supposed to show themselves in the best possible light, but extreme shyness sometimes takes over.
I love watching sports, particularly football matches, but unfortunately I've caught a cold. I'm a bit ill, so don't come too close to me.
然后这个男的就是他就是不好相处。
2 days is not much to break down the inhibitions of the young Japanese. Kamazawa tries to build courage by explaining his strategy out loud.
应该是的，在日本肯定是觉得有大男子主义底下，我猜的。
If I find a girl who is nice, that would be great. But we have to have fun. Otherwise, you won't find a cool girl. Right, guys? Because if you have a good time and joke around, that's when the pretty girls will come to us.
自分が楽しむことによって女が寄ってくる。
The trainee lovers are plunged back into childhood. The organizers have planned a game for them, girls and boys mixed.
There are 3 teams, the blues, the whites,
哎，
and the
说的
reds.
很有道理啊，因为我有白丝带，被美国政府虐待了差不多8年了，放过我。
Motivated,
所以
Kamazawa leads his
there's
team.
no go
They
like
must find all letters hidden around the school
because
in order to make up a mystery word.
girls are scared of my department. That is why they don't come close to me.
Upon arrival, they are made to do activities that will allow them to get to know each other. It's going to be a success.
And in Kamazawa's group, there is a young woman who is naturally gifted at hunting treasure. Akiko.
There, here, I found it.
However, this young primary school teacher is much less gifted when it comes to finding a boyfriend. How long have you been single for?
5 long years.
No men at all?
Not a single one.
Why she smiles? She don't
Because I'm
smile
very
even
dedicated to my work, I find it hard to do 2 things at once. And because I can only concentrate on one thing, I haven't managed to find anyone.
Why do you want to get
其实
married
这
so
个人
much
长得都
now?
挺好看的，唯一可能就是
Because I would like to
年龄
do
大了
things
一
with
些，大
someone.
概28岁到30岁。
We could share moments of happiness together.
After the treasure hunt, the singletons play card games or games from their childhood. And just like school, the rewards come in sweet form. For lunch, the organizers have not booked a chef. Preparing meals together could perhaps be an opportunity for the singletons to hit it off. For Kamazawa and Akiko, it seems to be working.
这些是修来的，比较不错。
Let's join hands and say enjoy your meal.
Enjoy your meal.
At the table, they are seated next to each other. It's time for them to start talking. So how is it going between you?
Yes, it's good. We're having a good time together. She's a nice girl and she's pretty.
And you? What do you think of him?
He seems nice.
Shall we exchange numbers?
Okay.
Let's exchange phone numbers.
Kamazawa is confident. He feels daring and decides to go for it.
Wait, I'd like to add something. I love you. You saw that, she responded well.
Akiko is cringing. So, do you like him?
I need more time.
They have only known each other for a few hours, but it's a blow for Kamazawa. Will he recover? The next day, it is home time. Although some of the singletons have exchanged numbers, they leave a little embarrassed at having forgotten that in Japan, affection is not expressed in public. Kamazawa does not see Akiko in the weeks that follow. We return to the Tokyo suburbs. Mr. Takashi has been married for 20 years. He too experiences a lack of sex in his marriage, so he has ended up finding a mistress. He takes her out every Sunday. He likes to photograph her, a case of maintaining desire.
I like the way she looks at you. Her eyes.
Saori looks 30 years younger than Mr. Takashi.
That's great. Very sexy.
Actually, the mistress is a silicone doll.
Normally in Japan, the belief is that it's not good to take photos by the water. It attracts bad spirits, but oh well.
These dolls, also known as love dolls, are a growing population in Japan. We meet Mr. Takashi at his home.
Welcome. Come in.
Do you live alone here?
No, I live with two people here. This is Saori. And this is Miku.
For 5 years, Mr. Takashi has shared his life with these two dolls.
Last year when I come to
We
Las
listen to
Vegas
music.
to play poker,
We watch films together.
play-
When it's
was
their
in the poker
birthday,
main
I
event.
get them a birthday
My
cake.
sexual dog got raped while I was
Do you
gone.
buy them presents as well?
In Japan, I mean, I can
Yes,
call police,
I get them
and
presents.
they will
For
try
example,
to
I
find
got her
who
some
raped my
earrings.
sexual dog.
Mr.
But in
Takashi
America,
lives in the suburbs of
American
Tokyo.
government
His
won't
wife
even
lives
allow
in
me
the countryside
to
100
call
kilometers from
911
here.
when
She
I
comes from
myself
time
be
to time
sexual
and seems to
assaulted.
accept her husband's cohabitation with these two mistresses.
At first, she was a little scared because she found them too lifelike. But now
Instead,
she's
they
used
arrest
to
me
this.
to mental hospital, try to murder me
Do you have sexual relations with the dolls?
at 2021.
Yes, it happened.
And your wife isn't jealous?
I think she accepts it.
Mr. Takashi's two silicon mistresses were born here at this company. The employees who hold the secrets to their production prefer to remain anonymous.
就是拜登和奥巴马两个，我把大概去的。
We have several molds to make different chest sizes and different parts of the body.
プロポーションですね。全体のプロポーションがそれぞれ違うものになっています。
Next step, the demolding. The bodies are now in their final form, already with some possible custom options. All that remains is to give these silicon figures a face. Human faces which can express emotions and, above all, inspire feelings.
To make the faces as real as possible, I strive to create very human features.
Built from California.
And I even sometimes add little imperfections for more detail.
These dolls are seducing more and more. Some customers even have over 10 of them at home. The clear winner is a mysterious millionaire who owns a collection of 100. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to film beyond these opaque curtains. The secret of the Love Dolls assembly will remain a mystery. In his showroom, the director is very proud to show us his latest creations, which, according to him, touch on perfection.
On price.
これが
In America,
As you can see, we have even carefully drawn the lines of the hand on the
but in
palm, just
Japan,
like
it
in
costs
real
about
life.
$8,000 for better quality one. I told them
In the country of
Japanese models
autoeroticism, these adult toys are worth 6,000 euros each. The market is growing rapidly. This company alone sells nearly 7,000 dolls a year. Solar Pleasure is doing so well that it has made Japan the world's biggest producer of pornographic films, with a market of over $20 billion. except that the fear of sex in Japan has also affected the porn industry. There are only around 70 actors left to make 30,000 films each year. One of them is calling out for help in the international press, hoping for a resurgence. His name is Kim Shimizu, alias Shimiken.
You're going to see how many showers I take a day. Now I'm doing something that I've been doing since I was in high school. I dry my penis every morning. It's the most important part of the body after all, right? And of course, without him, I wouldn't earn any money.
Shimiken is the king of the Japanese porn industry, and he takes good care of his work tools, like his hair. From the moment he wakes up, each morning revolves around a very precise ritual, a regime worthy of a top athlete.
You need a stable and regulated life. It's important to eat well. You also need regular sleep and lots of physical exercise.
About 50 pounds dumbbell. His arm strength is way stronger than me. I only use 30 pounds.
Shimiken requires a high-protein breakfast since he began his porn star career 16 years ago. With the huge lack of actors, his contracts also follow on one after the other. He can have 2 or 3 shoots a day.
When I compare my leg muscle, 这家伙的腿粗啊！
Eating the same thing
这家伙
every
腿好像
morning
看
for
起来
more
比我
than
还
10
粗。
years. It's not that easy.
因为我是和 NBA 球篮球
To
明
keep in
星
good health,
搭配的
he
一
also
样
takes
的。
vitamins and food supplements.
我以前年轻的时候，我的参赛力，他也摸到篮筐，
Sex
这
is a
种家伙
combat
力气很
sport,
大，
but one which is done in bed.
而且他身高比我高，看起来。
Let's go.
With 7,500 X-rated movies in his showreel, Shimiken is proud of being a hero. A bit like manga hero Goku from Dragon Ball Z on this signed drawing that hangs in his hallway.
He's been my idol since I was a child, because I love heroes. But I'll tell you the truth, they don't exist.
因为国空也是蛮有名的。
Shimiken
But
makes a
Goku
good
is a
living,
real
so he
bad
finds it
dad.
hard to understand why there
He
aren't
don't
more than
provide
70
family
porn stars in
enough money
Japan.
to live.
He is proud to show us what his cabriolet coupe has under the hood.
But
A
he don't know
marvel
how
worth
to train kids.
150,000 euros.
His son, Gohan is a loser. Can't even beat people.
But this morning,
And got
he goes to
bullied
work in his
in
4x4.
American school.
Shimiken has his own explanation for the disenchantment of Japanese men regarding the opposite sex.
I don't know.
Over the
Yeah,
last few
actually, in
decades,
American
the
school,
traditional social
Jacob
model has
happened in
evolved.
America.
Women, usually submissive
And
to
in
men,
Japan.
have emancipated themselves.
It is not men who have become weaker, it's women who have become stronger. Now men are afraid of getting hurt. They are afraid of failure when they flirt. There is also the fact that there are more and more ways to communicate, like texting, for example.
Yeah, actually, yes, from America. Yeah, 这个我
Which let us live without meeting anyone, and which push people to withdraw into themselves.
然后还有那个叫那个美国的职业拳击冠军，那个叫飞肯的家伙，然后攻击力好是很厉害，
For
有
the next
500
3
公
hours,
斤。
Shimiken will be working hard on this rather minimalist set. At the
然
end
后
of the
那个
shoot,
贝
some more
吉塔，
vitamins, but
一
hardly
个
enough
头
time
一
to
弹，
breathe.
把他
He's
是全力
constantly
的
rushed off his
打
feet.
爆了。
There were 2 girls on the shoot with great bumps. It was really something. Now I'm going to have my shower and then I've
1500 公
got
斤
to
的力
go
量
to
是
another
很大
studio.
的。
次の現場に行かないと取材に間に合います。
On the second shoot, before going on camera, Shimikan has lunch on the go. At 36 years old, while he has already had 8,000 sexual partners, the actor knows that he is not yet ready for retirement.
Here in Japan, there are 10,000 actresses for 4,000 films a month, and we are only 70 actors. You know, there are only 2,000 Bengal tigers left in the world, and we are like that, an endangered species.
其实我会的，有一些野史的，就是武功咯，还有用的一些技巧。
And Shokin is only half joking. He is now on a mission to reawaken the tiger that sleeps in every Japanese male. In Tokyo, one Frenchman has decided to come to the population's aid. His name is Julian. 7 years ago, he fell in love with the country and its eccentricities.
Pikachu. It's the mascot of a well-known brand of video game. In fact, he's my totem.
Julien has also noticed that men and women in Japan no longer understand seduction. He thinks he has found a solution to set up mixed couples. He himself has married a Japanese woman, and now he organizes evenings introducing Westerners to Tokyo's singles. Nothing better than a fancy dress party to liberate Japan's single population.
I'm organizing a masquerade party, and so I've made a whole load of masks. It creates a complicity, a naughty atmosphere. So both of them will have a mask. It's like a kind of protection. And there you go.
And his Cupid's recipe seems to be working very well.
I've succeeded in making couples. One of them has a child, and some are married. Come on, let's go.
Tomorrow, Julien has been invited to a Franco-Japanese wedding, who he set up himself. But this evening, he is organizing an event in Ginza, a chic district in the heart of Tokyo. Will it bring with it new successes?
Hey girls, how are you?
Good.
Wait, I've sent you the list. I'll explain it to you. I'll be right back.
This kind of dressing, I give him
Since
at least 95
2013,
points.
Julien has spearheaded the first Franco-Japanese community in Tokyo. It's also the city's first international community, so it's not hard for him to find participants. How many girls, how many boys are you expecting tonight?
Tonight there will be around 150 to 200 people. Something like that. It should be good.
Julien has everything planned to make his guests feel relaxed and to get the blood rushing. Artists have been booked to perform sexy shows. It's 8 o'clock. The first guests have already arrived, and there are a lot of them. Wearing masks seems to have had its effect.
I become another person. Normally, I don't feel like I can approach people, but tonight, maybe I will.
I don't need that. I just need to put some makeup. I can feel comfortable.
The guests begin to let their hair down, and the evening has only just begun.
Tonight, to please the ladies, there will be a male striptease.
To awaken the senses of the Japanese women, Julien has turned to a Western gymnast. Which breaks down the barriers of some and conquers their natural Japanese modesty. Very quickly, French and Japanese begin exchanging numbers.
What I'm seeing at the bar each time is couples forming.
Some of them take it to the next level.
And there's one.
Oh yeah, this has some young man and female. They very good appearance. Male
During
is
these
about
events, many couples get
male
together,
with
sometimes for
golden
life.
last is about a hundred. Besides, he's a little bit not very strong, but a lot of
The
females
next
don't
morning,
care about
Julian
this
makes his
anyway.
way to the Yogi Hachiman shrine
That
to
female
attend
is
the wedding of Clement
yeah,
and
very good
Mariko.
looking too. At least 95.
Thank you for coming.
But the married couple is
My
not
best
like
wishes.
the young boy.
Thank you for coming.
You look like 那个高塔里面的那个少尉，不是那个打架
Julian's
高
very
塔
warm
打架很
welcome
厉害的
went
那
down
个
to。the fact that the two lovers met each other at one of his events. It was a year and a half ago, and a baby was born from this union.
他是这样是扎古的，是用那种一只眼睛的高达。
It's not really a kissing culture.
不是那个就叫扎古，高达
She
高
takes
达
it
比扎
better
古厉
than
害。
Ça passe mieux que.
Although she is in the country where modesty reigns, today Clement's mother is all about kisses.
因为高达是白颜色的，然后扎古是颜色难看，所以打不过嘛高达。
So
居然是在有
Julian is
保护
boasting
色的
marriage
情
in
况下
Japan.，
就是颜色的保护色啊。因为扎古和那个高达是在那个树林里，还有在丛林里打仗。高达这么醒目的白颜色的，然后绿颜色的扎古都躲在树林里面，还打不过高达，这就是证明他们战斗力
While more
弱。
and more Japanese people prefer Western style
因为
weddings,
对驾驶员来
Clement
说，
and
白颜
Mariko
色
have
肯定更
opted
加
for
醒目啊。
traditional
在
Shinto
树林里
ceremony
面啊
kimonos.
就是类似用红颜色在树林里，那当然红颜色更醒目
Then
啊
he。invites them to
就
taste the
是以前
sacred sake.
英国
As
的
is custom, they share
英国
3
的
cups,
士兵喜
which they
欢
must
陆
take
军
turns
穿红颜
drinking.
色衣服的，然后他们就是在树林里面就特别容易被发现。所以当时南北战争打不过
Then
主要是
Clement
华
and
盛顿。
Mariko exchange
不过
vows.
当时英国人知道
Their
穿迷
families
彩
are
服
moved,，
当时肯定是按照当时的战斗实力，肯定
It was
是
him
英军
who
赢，
orchestrated
因为
this union.
美国军队就是靠在丛林里打游击战，然后打赢了英军的。
This
但
is
主要是
probably
英
the
国
face
军
of
队
future
他们穿
Japan.
红颜色的时候，
With more and
大英
more
帝国
mixed
居然不
marriages,
知道，
this could
那是
be
我们人类
what the
确实不
future
知
looks
道
like.
颜色的保护色。
And so lots
欧
more
洲文
little
明
mixed
知道，我们
babies
亚
as
洲文
well.
明，中华文明知道的，《孙子兵法》里面有写的。
And if mixed marriages are not enough to repopulate the country, the Japanese people can
我
always
们
rely
都有
on the
记录
gods.
下来的。所以一般我们中国军队的正规
Each
军
year, the town
没
of
有傻
Kawasaki
逼去
in
穿
Tokyo suburbs
不是
celebrates
没有
Kamamatsuri,
不会
a
懂得
fertility
不
festival.
穿那种特别醒目的颜
Since
色
the
的，
17th
只有那
century,
些
the
就是
town's
反贼
residents gather on the
像
first
那个
Sunday of
汉朝
April
时的
to
那个
parade giant
那
penises
个
in the
皇帝
streets.
军。他们打仗的时候头上藏一个黄颜色的头巾，然后被我们汉朝政府的官军他们躲在树林里，因为颜色特别
and
醒
asking
目
them，for a fruitful sex life and a baby.
所以打不过我们大
Clement
汉的官
bizarre
军的
and。surprising initiative to combat the demographic decline of Japan.
因为那些农民的起义，他们笨啊，他们的就是军师的智力低，的水平差，一般武将反而是那些农民的武将就是单挑厉害。